269, Prabhu. 256, sorry.
256.
256.
256, okay. All right, so we'll start with 256. So there are no questions from last week, okay?
It's quite clear.
Okay, all right. Let's go with that. So 256. This is Adi Lila, Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Lila, chapter 4, text 256. Lila ante sukhe ihar angere madhuri, tahade ki sukhe ami apna pashari. Seeing the luster of her complexion after our pastimes together, I forget my own identity in happiness. And that's a huge statement to see, for Krishna to say, I forget who I am. Because, as you can see, it's not easy to forget who you are. Krishna says, I may be all-knowing, I may be omniscient, but when I see that luster of a complexion, I forget my own identity. I forget who I am. This expression in Hindi says, Tanman ki sudh bhul jate. That's what's happening with Krishna. 257. Doha je samuras bharat muni mane, amare brajere ras sahu nahi jane. The sage Bharat has said that mellows of lover and beloved are equal, but he does not know the mellows of my Vrindavan. Purports 2 lines only, I'll read it. According to expert sexologists like Bharat Muni, the male and the female enjoy equally in material sexual pleasure. But in the spiritual world, the relationships are different, although this is unknown to mundane experts. So basically, Krishna is contradicting what Bharat Muni has. This is not the same Bharat Muni as we know. It's not the Raja Bharat or Jad Bharat or anything like that. It's somebody else. Okay, he's saying, no, it's not equal because she's feeling different. And I'm so happy I forget even who I am myself. 258. Anya Sangame Ami Jatusukhi Pai Taha Hute Radhasuk Shat Adhikari. The happiness I feel when meeting Radharani is 100 times greater than the happiness I get from meeting others. We discussed that point last week also, that there may be 3 billion gopis, but Radharani is not there. Krishna says, I can't enjoy it here. And he leaves. And there are many other pastimes where Krishna would be with other gopis, and Radharani is not there. He just doesn't enjoy it. Not as much anyway. 259. Nirdhutamrit madhuri parimala kalyani bimbadharo bhaktram pankaj saurabham kuharit shlag vidaste viraha angam chandan shitalam tanur iyam saundarya sarvaras bhak tvam asadya mamedam indriya kulam radhe muhur modate. Translation. My dear auspicious Radharani, the body is the source of all beauty. Your red lips are softer than the sense of immortal sweetness. Your face bears the aroma of a lotus flower. Your sweet words defeat the vibrations of the cuckoo, and your limbs are cooler than the pulp of sandalwood. All my transcendental senses are overwhelmed in ecstatic pleasure by tasting you, who are completely decorated by beautiful qualities. So this is from Lalit Madhav, book written by Sri Prabhu Swami, and Krishna is speaking to Radharani. I want to draw your attention to one particular sentence. It says, second line, your red lips are softer than the sense of immortal sweetness. Does everybody see that line?
Yes, Prabhu.
So what is sense? Something gross, something subtle. Not senses. Sense of something. Like sense of sweetness, for example. Is that subtle or gross?
It's gross, Prabhu. Gross, sorry.
Subtle,
Okay.
Prabhu.
Okay. So can you two argue and tell me who's right? And there's another vote for subtle. So Radha Prabhu, 2-1. Okay, 2-1 wins. This is subtle because the sensor, you can't touch, gross, you can touch it, you can measure it, you can weigh it, right? So you can't do that with senses. Not senses, sense of something. Senses you can. Ear you can hold, you can twist it, right? But sense you can't. Sense of smell, sense of beauty, that's something very soft, right?
Agree, Prabhu.
Okay, so actually in the 60s, there used to be a Bollywood song, वहम से भी ज़्यादा नाजुक तुम हो. Vaham means, again, a feeling of misunderstanding or feeling of illusion. And you are more soft than that. The same thing here. How can something be more soft than sense of sweetness? But that is how Radha is being described by Krishna. Is it making sense? So it is basically saying how special, how glorious Radha is. Everything about it. Your lips are softer than the sense of a moral sweetness. Your face bears the aroma of a lotus flower, which means you can smell lotus flower on your face. That's why it's called lotus face, I guess. Your sweet words defeat the vibrations of the cuckoos, who are supposed to be very sweet signals. And your limbs are cooler than the pulp of sandal. Sandal is supposed to be the coolest thing, but her limbs are cooler than that. And so much so that all my transcendental senses are overwhelmed in ecstatic pleasure by tasting you. So now he's saying transcendental senses. What does transcendental mean? The literal meaning of transcendental.
Pure.
Not of this
Literal
world.
Beyond material.
beyond material senses. Something that's above all that, right? Something that cannot be seen in the material world. So he's saying that my sense is transcendental. But why is he saying that? Because senses are overwhelmed with ecstatic pleasure. Now, how can something transcendental be overwhelmed? Overwhelmed by definition means something material. You can overwhelm only in the material world. But he is saying, no, my transcendences are even overwhelmed. They're so powerful. Once again, glorifying her, her everything, her beauty, and that's the pleasure he's getting is overwhelming. He's infinite. How can he be overwhelmed? Right? But he's overwhelmed. That's the contradiction in the beauty of Radharani. Okay, let's continue. It continues. 260. Rupe kanse harasya dubdha, nayanam sparshe tishyat tvacham, vanyam utkalita shutim, parimale samsrit nasa putam, arajyat rasnam kiladhar pute, nyanchan mukhambho ruham, dambhoddigrin mahadhritim, bahir api prodyat kara kulam. Her eyes are enchanted by the beauty of Lord Krishna, the enemy of concept. Her body thrills in pleasure of his touch, at his touch. Her ears are always attracted to his sweet voice. Her nostrils are enchanted by his fragrance. Her tongue hankers for the nectar of his soft lips. She hangs down her lotus-like face, exercising self-control only by pretense. But she cannot help showing the external signs of her spontaneous love for Lord Krishna. So 259 talked about how Krishna is reacting. 260 talking about the countenance of Radha. Like, what does she appear to be? What does she look like? What's her demeanor? What's her facial expression like? That's what countenance means. So let's read this again. Her eyes are enchanted by the beauty of Lord Krishna. So Lord Krishna is so beautiful, she's totally enchanted by that. Now, somebody as beautiful as Radharani can be enchanted by just anybody. As a matter of fact, Krishna is the only one who enchants her. Right? Her body thrills in pleasure at his touch. Her ears are always attracted to sweet words. That's all she wants to hear, his voice, his flute. And this is why whenever even she hears the rumbling of the bamboo trees, she has the flute. Her nostrils are enchanted by his fragrance. Once again, that's all I want to smell. Her tongue hankers for the nectar of soft lips. I just want to taste your lips. She tries to be shy by hanging her face down, but her body language is like, I just want to be with you. Okay, because I love you so much. Okay, so once again, describing the glory of Radharani. First from Krishna's point of view, and then from the poet's point of view. 261. ताते जानी मोते ताचे आछे कौन एक रस हमार मोहिनी राधा तार करे वश. Krishna's confessing here something. What's he saying? Considering this, I can understand that some unknown mellow in me controls the entire existence of my captivator, Shrimati Radha. There's something in me, some mellow in me that controls the existence of Radha. So again, relates to text 261. What's happening to Radharani? Krishna is catching that point. 262. Ama hote Radha paye je jati sukh taha aswadite ami sadai. So now he's saying that taste. So I'm going to read the translation. I'm always eager to taste the joy that Radharani derives from. So what is that joy that she gets? What's that pleasure she gets from seeing me, from being with me, from admiring my sweetness, tasting my sweetness? That was the second point, right? The three wishes, that was the second point. 263. Nana jitne kariyami nari aswadite sei sukh madhurya grane lobh badhe chitte. In spite of various efforts, I have not been able to taste it. But my desire to relish that pleasure increases as I smell sweetness. So once again saying, I got to do this, I got to do this, I can't do it on my own. Ras aswadite ami kail avatar prem ras aswadil vividha prakar. Formerly, I appeared in the world to taste mellows. I tasted the mellows of pure love in various ways. So now Krishna is talking about why did I appear? Why did Krishna appear? Not Lord Chaitanya, forget Krishna appears Lord Chaitanya. Krishna says, why did I appear as Krishna? How frequently do I appear? Krishna says. How frequently does Krishna appear? How many years?
One day. Yeah, go ahead, mother.
Once in
Prabhuji, once in Lord Brahma's day, but please don't ask me how many years. I
Okay.
don't know the calculation.
Okay, 8.64 billion years. So that's how infrequently Krishna appears. And he says, I appear
Sorry to interrupt, Prabhu. How many years?
8.64 billion years.
Haribo.
Haribol is right. So all the other incarnations come and go, but Krishna himself, Krishna Samam Swaram Samvan Paramahapamaniyo, that Krishna. You know, text 39 Brahma Samhita, what does it say? Ramadi Murtishu Kala Niyamena Tishtam, Nana Avtaram Akro Bhuvnesh Kirtu, Krishna Swayam Bhagwan Paramahapamaniyo. Krishna Swayam appears only once in a day. Other incarnations come and go. Okay, so that's how it is. And Krishna said, why do I come? Instead of sending my incarnations, I have come here to enjoy the mellows. Where is the 5 mellows? With my pure devotees. He said, that's why I come. So he has a Dasiras, Sakhiras, Vatsaliras, Madhuriras. He enjoys them with pure devotees in those particular mellows. So he's saying, that's why I come. I tasted the mellows in various ways. But keep going. 265. Rag marge bhakta bhakti kare je prakare tahashi khai lila acharan. So another reason why it's coming. I taught devotional service that springs from the devotee's spontaneous love by demonstrating it with my pastimes. So Krishna is saying, I'm doing my pastimes to teach how to do devotional service, pure devotional service, by the example of my Brajvasis, my devotees in Braj. Okay, so in the first verse, sorry, 264, he says, I come here to taste the mellows of pastimes with my devotees. 265 is saying that I also, by doing that pastime, I teach general public people like you and me how to perform pure devotional service by seeing the interactions between the devotees in Braja and Krishna. Is that point clear? Because it's very, very important point, very key points. Krishna is saying, why do I come? Taste the smells and to teach people how to do pure devotional service. Okay? 266. 8 in Krishnamor Nahilapuran Vijatiye Bhave Nahe Taha Aswadan. But these three desires that we talked about of mine were not satisfied, for one cannot enjoy them in a contrary position. If I'm not doing it myself, I'm not testing it myself, then how can I describe it or how can I do this? Right? So Rupa Raja Mata is asking what are the three desires. So let's go again to those three desires. Can I take your attention back to text 230, 230? Rupa Raja Mata, you want to read that? The translation of text 230?
Sure, Prabhuji. I'm going back.
Sure.
Yes, 230.
Go ahead.
Hare Krishna. Desiring to understand the glory of Radharani's love, the wonderful qualities in him that she alone relishes through her love, and the happiness she feels when she realizes the sweetness of his love, the Supreme Lord Hari, richly endowed with her emotions, appeared from the womb of Sri Sachi Devi as the moon appeared from the ocean.
Okay, so the first one is desiring to understand the glory of Radharani's love. That's one. Second is the wonderful qualities in him that she alone relishes through her love. Third, the happiness she feels when she realizes the sweetness of his love. So
Okay.
the things we discussed, right?
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Sure, no problem. Okay, 268. Radha Bhav Angikari Dharitar Varna Tin Sukha Aswadite Uba Avati. Therefore, assuming Radha Rani's sentiments and bodily complexion, I shall descend to fulfill these three desires. So, Lord Chaitanya is therefore Krishna in the sentiments and mood of Radharani and the bodily complexion of Radha. Okay, everybody with me on that? Yes, no?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, good.
Yes,
269.
Prabhuji.
Thank you. 269. Sarva Bhava Kaila Krishna Ehite Nishchay Ene Kale Ail Yugavatar Samay. Now something interesting happened. In this way, Lord Krishna came to decision. So he decided that I'm going to appear as Lord Chaitanya. But when? When do I do that? So he's saying here, simultaneously, when he made the decision to do that, simultaneously, the time came for the incarnation of the age. That time came for Kali Yuga Avatar. So here Krishna is thinking, I got to do this. And now suddenly it's the time for the incarnation in this age. 270. Sei kale Shiyadvaita Karena Aradhan Tahar Hum Karekal Krishna Akarshan. At the same time, Advaita Acharya had appeared. In which town was he in? Advaita Acharya? Anybody? What town did he live in?
Shantipur, Prabhuji.
Shantipur Prabhu.
Yes.
Shantipur.
Yes. So in Shantipur, Advaita Acharya appeared. He's Mahavishnu and Sadashiv combined, and he's seeing the condition of the people in the age of Kali, and he says, Krishna, you have to come and help. This is called crazy. So he's doing his, who was he serving? Advaita Acharya. Of course. Who was Advaita Acharya serving? He was asking Krishna to appear.
Shaligram Shila.
What kind of Shalinam Shila?
That I don't know.
Nrsimha. Nrsimha Nrsimha.
Yeah, with tulsi and water.
Yeah, Tulsi Dal Matrin Jalas Tulkenova. He was using Ganges water, Tulsi in it, and he was offering it to Lord Shila. Okay, the Shila is still there, by the way. Okay, so Sai Kale Shiyadvaita Karen Aradhan Tahar Hum Kare Kail Krishna Akarshan. At that time, Sri Advait was earnestly worshipping him. Advait attracted him with his loud calls. He used to shout very loud, Krishna, please come, please appear. 271 to 72. Pita Mata Guru Gana Age Avatari Radhikar Bhav Gana Angikar Kari Navadvipa Shachi Garva Siddh Dugdh Sindhu Tahate Prakata Haila Krishna Puna Hindu. First, Lord Krishna made his parents and elders appear. So every time Krishna appears, all these devotees, they appear, whether it's parents or friends or relatives or clan, the clan or whatever, they all appear. Enemies, demons, they all appear. He never appears alone. The same thing here. So he made Krishna, parents, Sachimata and Jagannath Mishra, and other elders who are some of the most prominent elders in the life of Lord Chaitanya. Who was the father and mother of Mother Sachimata? Nilamba Chakravarti. So Nilamba Chakravarti was the father of Mother Sachimata, Nanaji. Right?
Jagannath Mishra.
And Sita Thakurani. Sorry, Venkatmukh, what do you say?
Prabhu Jagannath Mishra, right?
No, I was asking the father and mother of Sachimata.
Okay.
So Nilamba Chakravarti, and sorry, I think Malini mother. Sita Thakurani was the wife of Advaita. Okay, anyway, so my point is all these people appeared, and Krishna himself, with the sentiments and complexion of Radhika, appeared in Navadvip, like the full moon from the womb of Mother Sachi, which is like an ocean of pure milk. So does anybody see the connection here? Why is she compared with the ocean of pure milk? And Lord Chaitanya compared the moon. Do you see the connection there? We just said that the moon appears out of the ocean. It appears like appear out of the ocean. So that way, in that simile, Lord Chaitanya, the moon is appearing from the ocean-like womb of Mother Sachi. 273. यही तो करेलो शस्त्र श्लोकेर व्याख्यान श्री रूप गोसाई पाद पद्म करी ध्यान. Meditating on the lotus feet of Lord of Sri Rupa Goswami, I have just explained the 6th verse. 274. यही दो श्लोकेर आमी जे करेल अर्थ श्री रूप गोसाई श्लोक प्रमाण समर्थ. So this is, okay, I'm going to read translation expression. I can support the explanation of these two verses, 5 and 6 of the first chapter, with a verse by Rupa Goswami. So what is the need for that? Anybody wants to tell me? What's the need to say, hey, I can support my explanation by what Rupa Goswami wrote? What is the need for that?
Because Prabhuji, in our line, there are no personal opinions given. So everybody quotes the previous acharyas only.
Right. Because otherwise sounds like speculation, mental speculation. So saying I'm not doing that is supported by Rupa Goswami, our acharya. So what is that verse? 275. Aparam kasyapi pranay jan dasya kutuki rasastomam tvam madhuram upabhoktam kam api yaha rucham swam avavre titim ihtadiyam prakatayan sadevas chaitanya kritir atiram nah kripayatu. Translation. But Krishna desired to taste the limitless nectarian mellows of the love possessed by one of his multitude of loving damsels, Shri Radha, and so has assumed the form of Lord Chaitanya. He has tasted the love while hiding his own dark complexion with an effulgent yellow color. May that Lord Chaitanya confer upon us his grace. So this is not Chaitanya Ashtak, again, Lord Goswami. Mr. Mal. So, point being made here is that Krishna desired to taste the mellows that Radharani was tasting. So that's the reason for his appearing as Lord Chaitanya. Okay. And says kind of hiding his own dark. So Antare Krishna, Bahire God. That's an expression used for Lord Chaitanya. 276. Mangalacharanam Krishna, Chaitanya Tattva Lakshanam, Priyojinam, Chavatare, Shloka Shaktar Nirupitam. Translation. Thus the auspicious invocation, the essential nature of the truth of Lord Chaitanya, and the need for his appearance have been set forth in 6 verses. So the God Tattva, Lord Chaitanya Tattva, and the need for his appearance has been explained in the verses we have read so far. And every chapter ends with this. Shri Rupa Raghunatha Pade Jaya Ash, Chaitanya Charitamrita Kahe Krishnadas. Praying at the lotus feet of Shri Rupa and Shri Raghunath, always desiring their mercy, I, Krishnadas, narrate Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita, following in their footsteps. So Satogate means following in the footsteps of the previous acharyas. So Ras Kaviraj is presenting that example and saying, I'm following in the footsteps and I'm praying at the lotus feet because there were Shiksha Gurus, Shri Raghunath Das, and Shri Rupa Goswami. So what was Raghunath Das's role in the writing of Chaitanya Charitamrita? Anybody?
Raghunath Goswami used to explain at the Radhakunda and yeah.
Correct. So you hear every day about Gaur Lila. So based on what he heard and the diary of Swarup Damodar, he wrote this Chaitanya Charitamrita. Okay. So that ends chapter 4. So let's pause and see if there are any questions or comments or reflections. Okay. I get nervous when I hear nothing because does this mean it's not the syllabus you were looking for? Or does it mean something different? I need to hear from you.
All okay, Prabhuji.
What does that mean, Boo?
Maybe I think everyone was getting afraid of the next question. No, just kidding. I mean, yes, while you're explaining, we're understanding everything. It's just that if you ask me to recall and recap everything, that might be a difficult task. But I do, we are following everything what you're saying.
So, Prabhu, I'm just saying, what do you, I don't want to pick on you or just anybody, the 19 plus people on the call. Is there anything we recall? Because my point is, if it's not sinking in, or then we should change the method or something. I'm looking at my own weakness, like what should I be doing different? Or what should you do different? Yeah.
Yeah, so that is not that is not the understanding as I'm one of them. So you are explaining when we go back to the verse, we see so much of the meaning is there, Prabhuji, in each sloka, each word. You are making efforts to bring that out. So unless until we read again one time, two time, Prabhuji, it will not go. Just by I try to read before and so it takes time. There are a lot of meaning, Prabhuji, and you are bringing out all that meaning. This is what I understand. The Prabhuji was explaining that we understand. It's not that when you explain that word by word we understand, but we have to revisit. Prabhuji, it's a lacking from your side, not from your side. This is how I see.
That's true.
Okay. All right.
Yes, so it reminds me that I need to spend some time after the class or maybe sometime before the class. So that's where I think personally I feel I'm lacking. And that's the reason why, even though you are putting some extra efforts, like a lot of extra effort from your side, there should be a little bit of more from mine to get the full nectar out of it.
Okay. Yeah. So I agree with you that because it's such a heavy topic, we need to go back and spend some time trying to digest what we read or heard. Otherwise, it's a very difficult topic. There's no question. And I'll be honest with you, even I can't remember everything. And I'm here teaching, so it is very hard. There's no question. Okay, all right.
Prabhuji,
So,
sorry. So we have been hearing lectures, from long time, and especially under you, we had heard Bhagavatam many times, and we heard so many things. But here we know this is from here, like about Radha, Krishna, they are being one, then they are separate. They're like so many things we heard, but now we witness that they are written here, and it's not that everything I remember, but at least I heard with my ears. I feel
sure,
fortunate. Thank you, Prabhu.
sure, thank you. Okay.
Prabhuji, may I say something?
Of-
When we were doing Nectar of Devotion, you didn't want to go beyond chapter 19. You said it's very intense, right? And we stopped at some point. But I'm finding this Chaitanya Charitamrita equally challenging, Prabhu, to conceive in my brain. So what's the difference between this and that, Prabhu? Like in terms of understanding the transcendental mood of the Lord, like
Well-
how would you?
So, a lame answer is that in Nectar of Devotion, I had a choice because even Bhakti Shastri doesn't go beyond chapter 19. So I said, okay, I mean, if ISKCON doesn't do it, then I should do it. But ISKCON does
Oh,
teach.
that was the reason, Prabhu?
Yes.
No, I was talking about the content, Prabhu, because I just found that
No, that's what I'm saying.
both the scriptures are equally challenging.
True. There's no question about it. There's no question about it. And but that was the reason I was saying that it is a little too complicated. Even ISKCON doesn't do it, so I should try. I mean, I've read it myself, but there's a private reading. I am not aware of anybody giving classes. I mean, there may be, but I'm not aware giving classes that go beyond chapter 19. But there are Chaitanya classes going on. So I felt that I can do it. I mean, I don't know. I know that's not a satisfactory answer, but that's basically what it is.
Okay, Prabhu. Thank you.
Okay, sure. Okay, chapter 5. and you think what you did so far is difficult? Wait for this chapter. Even the introduction, the glories of Lord.
Sorry, Prabhuji. I just want to add something. I agree with Mataji that this is very, very challenging. For me, every book is challenging. From Bhagavad Gita, choti se choti, badi se badi. Every book is challenging. But the way you are explaining the things, it's very nice. We are trying to understand it. Same like teacher explain their part, but the kids has to study by their own if they want to clear the exam. So if something is lacking, it's lacking from my part, not from your part. You are explaining it wonderfully. Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, so who would like to start? Reading
1 minute, Prabhuji.
Hare
Even
Krishna.
me, Hare
Sorry,
Krishna, Prabhuji.
go ahead.
Even me, compared to, they are all very, very seniors in everything. I just joined. The way you explain, very, very simplified explanation.
Thank you.
So, little bit I am able to follow. Prabhuji.
Thank you so
The
much.
way you explain is really very understanding, because I am not a very brilliant like other.
Oh, I don't know about that, but okay. Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, who would like to read the introduction to chapter 5? Go ahead, Ro.
Do it, Prabhu.
I'm sorry.
I can read it if you
Sure,
want.
Mataji.
Oh, Prabhu, you can read it. Sorry. I can read it.
Mataji, you can read it. Yeah.
Okay. The glories of Lord Nityananda Balaram. This chapter is chiefly devoted to describing the essential nature and glories of Sri Nityananda Prabhu. Lord Sri Krishna is the absolute personality of Godhead, and his first expansion in the form for pastimes is Sri Balaram. Beyond the limitation of this material world is the spiritual sky, Parayoma, which has many spiritual planets, the supreme of which is called Krishna Loka. Krishna Loka, the abode of Krishna, has 3 divisions, which are known as Dwarka, Mathura, and Gokula. In that abode, the personality of Godhead expands himself in 4 plenary portions: Krishna Balaram, Pradyumna, Transcendental Cupid, Anirudh. They are known as original quadruple forms.
Okay, thank you. So let's understand what we just said, these 2 paragraphs. So in this chapter, we're going to read about the first expansion of Lord Krishna. Who is what? Who? Who is the first?
Balaram.
Lord Balaram. So that's the first point being made. The reason it's talking about Balaram is, as we know, Lord Balaram appears as Lord Nityananda. So they're non-different. Then he's explaining the structure of the spiritual world. So what is above the spiritual world? So I'm sorry, above the material world. What's the first thing above the material world?
Brahman.
Viraja River.
Virja River, correct.
Yeah.
What is above Virja River? By the way, what's the other name for Virja River?
Milk
No.
ocean.
No.
Vaitarani Prabhu.
Causal ocean.
Causal ocean. Correct. Causal ocean. Karana Samudra. So above that is
Brahman effulgence.
Brahman effulgence, correct.
Brahman, yeah.
Above Brahman effulgence,
there are
Sadashiv Loka.
spiritual planets.
Sadashiv Loka, that's correct.
Yeah.
What's above that?
Vaikuntha.
Vaikuntha planets. So, Paravyu. What's above that?
Golok Vrindavan.
Actually, so it's called Krishna Loka. Golok Vrindavan also correct answer, by the way. But here it's saying that Krishna Loka is divided into 3 divisions: Dwarka, Mathura, and Gokul. Please note that the same names as in Bhumi, Lila of Krishna, Dwarka, Mathura, and Gokul. Out of the 3, which is the most intimate place?
Gokul.
Gokul. And why is that?
Because that's predominated by love.
Yes. So it's the quality of the pastime, and as we have been reading, the Madhuri Ras is the highest. So wherever there's the extreme or maximum amount of Madhuri Ras is the most intimate and most supreme place. Right? So there's a verse, I think it's verse number 10. I think it's number 10. It could be 9. Anyway, so basically it says Dwarka is superior to the spiritual world of Vaikuntha. Mathura is superior to Dwarka. Vrindavan is superior to Mathura. And what is superior to Vrindavan?
Radhakund.
Govardhan. And what is superior to Govardhan?
Radhakund.
Radhakund.
Again, it goes all by the quality of the Madhuri Ras. Quality and quantity. So in Mathura, there's a mixture of Aishwarya Ras and Madhuri Ras. In Dwarka, same thing, but there's more Aishwarya than Madhurya. Okay, so that's the definition of the quality of the place. In Vaikuntha Lok, there's very little Madhurya. Even though husband and wife, Vishnu and Lakshmi are there, Dara and Lakshmi are there, there's very little Madhurya. She's just basically doing Padaseva. Right? You never see hugging each other, having intimate conversations. We never see that. We always see her serving his lotus feet. Okay?
So, Prabhu, that could.
I'm sorry.
That falls under Aishwarya Bhav?
I'm sorry?
in Vaikuntha that falls under Aishwarya Bhav?
Everything is Aishwarya Bhav. That's why you go there. Serving the Lord in a mood of awe and reverence, recognizing his godhood and his opulence, then you go to Vaikuntha. Who recognized the opulence of Krishna in Vrindavan?
No one.
Gopis?
No one. Even when Krishna tried to tell them, I'm God, they said, forget it. Forget it, you're not God. We are better than you. That's
What was your question, Prabhu? What was your question?
The question was, who in Vrindavan recognized the opulence of Krishna? And the answer is no one. Refuse to believe is God, forget about the opulence. And that is why Krishna never said to the gopis or the gopas what he said to Arjun. What is the final sentence to Arjun? Surrender to me. He never said that to anybody in Vrindavan, because if he said that, they said, what do you mean surrender to you? You surrender to us. Who do you think you are? Right? What was different? So same thing here in the spiritual world, Dwarka, Mathura, and Gokul, the difference is the mood. Okay, and we'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute. And then saying that there, Krishna, Balaram, Pradyumna, Aniruddha, they reside. Actually, that's Dwarka Lila. So they reside in Dwarka. Okay, so Vasudeva, Krishna, Sankarshan, Aniruddha, they reside in Dwarka. And that's where they appear also in Bhumi Lila. Okay, somebody read the next paragraph, please.
I will read, Prabhuji.
Please go ahead.
Okay. In Krishna Loka is a transcendental place known as Sweta Dvipa or Vrindavan. Below Krishna Loka in the spiritual sky are the Vaikuntha planets. On each Vaikuntha planet, a four-handed Narayan expanded from the first quadruple manifestation is present. The personality god is known as Sri Balraman in Krishna Loka is the original Sankarshana attracting deity. And from this Sankarshana expands another Sankarshana called Mahasankarshana, who resides in one of the Vaikuntha planets. By his internal potency, Mahasankarshana maintains the transcendental existence of all the planets in the spiritual sky, where all the living beings are eternally liberated souls. The influence of material energy in conspicuous here by its absence. On those planets, the second quadruple manifestation is present. Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhu. Okay, so we already said that Krishna Loka is above the Vaikuntha planets. And every Vaikuntha planet, this Lord Narayan or his incarnation there. Lord Narayan comes from the first Sankarshan. Okay. So that's that. And let's see. Then from that Narayan comes another Sankarshan of the quadruple expansion called second quadruple expansion. And in that second quadruple expansion, Sankarshan is called Mahasankarshan. That is that Mahasankarshan that expands to all the other things. So Mahavishnu comes from him, all the others come from him. So he's the source. Okay. Let's see. And of course, there's no material energy there. Okay, so that's that paragraph. Any questions on that? Okay, next paragraph, please.
Can I read, Prabhuji?
Of course.
Outside of the Vaikuntha planets is the impersonal manifestation of Sri Krishna, which is known as Brahmaloka. On the other side of Brahmaloka is the spiritual Karana Samudra or casual ocean. The material energy exists on the other side of the casual ocean without touching it. In the casual ocean is Mahavishnu, the original Purusha. Expansion from Sankarshana, Mahavishnu places his glance over the material energy, and by the reflection of his transcendental body, he amalgamates himself within the material elements. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Madam. So again, this is going from top to bottom. We had already discussed. Now this is going from top to bottom. We have first gone from bottom to top. So outside of the purview, it's the Brahma Jyoti. Okay, also known as Brahma Loka. Then below that is the causal ocean. Below that, so causal ocean is where Mahavishnu is lying down and he glances over the material nature to start the creation process. And below that is the material creation. Okay. Usha is asking who has seen this. Nobody I know, but obviously Brahma saw it, and that's why he describes it. If you look at Brahma Samhita text 43, how does it go? Golok namni chadhamni. Golok namni chadhamni. Slowly second. Golok namni. Devi Mahesh. I do this every morning, but I can't say it now. Golok namni. Golok namni talis tasya Devi Mahesh Haridhamash Teshu Teshu. Yete Prabhav Nichya Vitashi, Govinda Madi Purusham. So Brahmaji is seeing it. He's saying, I'm seeing Mahesh Dham first. Sorry, I'm saying Devi Dham first, which is the material world. Then I'm saying Mahesh Dham, which is the Sadashiv Lok. Then I'm saying Hari Dham, which is the Parabhyo. So yes, he has seen it. It's written in Brahma Samhita. And further expanded by Vyasdev. Okay, Usha? But because I don't have personal introduction with Brahma, I don't know him. But he has written this.
Okay, thank you so much.
Okay. Okay. Somebody wants to read the next paragraph?
Can I do that?
Of course, Mataji, please go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you. As the sources of material elements, the material energy is known as pradhana. And as the source of the manifestations of the material energy, it is known as Maya. But material nature is inert in that she has no independent power to do anything. She is empowered to make the cosmic manifestation by the glance of Mahavishnu. Therefore, the material energy is not the original cause of material manifestation. Rather, the transcendental glance of Mahavishnu over material nature produces that cosmic manifestation. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. So, I don't know how many of you have heard the term Pradhan. Pradhan is basically a portion of, or a congregate of these material elements before they are manifested. Before they are manifested. So what are these 5 elements, everybody?
Ether, earth,
Water, fire, earth, air.
And air. Okay. So these 5 elements, and then you have the false ego, intelligence, and mind. So before they're manifested, the unmanifest form, they're known as Pradhan. These are the material elements. And then this Maya is the actual manifestation of the material world. So sometimes Maya is used as a combination of the 2 things, but sometimes it's shown as separately. And when we were talking about Advaita Acharya, we said that Mahavishnu is causing the manifestation, and Advaita Acharya portion of Mahavishnu is supplying the material elements. So this is coming back here, same thing. So Pradhan and the Pradhan is the source for material elements, and Maya is the source for manifestation of energy. Okay. Now, Maya by itself is inert. Material energy by itself is inert. It can't do anything by itself. It's like you take a lump of mud. By itself cannot do anything. But when a potter takes it, turns the wheel and rotates the wheel, and then create a pot. Right? So you need the potter. So similarly, you need Krishna or Vishnu for the material energy to be active, do something. So until he glances upon it, it cannot do anything. The energy is coming from that glance. Okay? Is that clear or no?
Yes,
Then
Prabhu.
what is Pradhan?
Pradhan is the congregate of all the material elements that we just talked about before they are manifested.
Is it like raw materials, Prabhu?
Well, you can call it raw materials, but before they're manifested. Once they're manifested, they're known as earth, air, water, fire, mind, intelligence, and forces.
So they are in their dormant position?
No, they just basically stop existing. It's an unmanifest state, not dormant. Dormant is existing. It's not even existing. It's become pradhan. It's not manifesting.
Oh, so Prabhu, is this pre-Big Bang era?
Yeah, pre-Big Bang. Yeah. Before Big Bang, that's what exists.
So it means they were there somewhere in the air, but
No.
it was
Hold on.
not it
Hold
was
on,
not discovered.
Hold on. There's no air.
I mean, these 5 elements, which is Maya.
Okay.
I don't know. I really don't know.
Okay, so do you understand what manifest and unmanifest mean?
To appear and not to appear.
Okay. So when they don't appear, there's no place, there's no material world at that time. I'm talking about before the Srishti, before the creation begins. I'm talking about that time. Before Mahavishnu has glanced at the material nature. I'm talking about that time. That's why, you read after material is manifest or unmanifest. Right? So it exists as unmanifest form. It does not exist, but in an unmanifest form. I know it's very hard.
Very good concept, Prabhu.
Okay, let's keep going then. Next paragraph. Oh, sorry, Rajapur, go ahead.
No, I just had a gross simplification for understanding. So as Mataji was trying to ask, so for example, if there's a huge acacia tree, but its unmanifest form is when it's in the form of a seed. So it doesn't occupy any space or anything when it's in unmanifest form. But when it manifests in totality, it needs all those things. I don't know it's a good example or not.
The only problem with that is that the seed also exists.
Seed is
space, small maybe, but in this case doesn't. Nothing, it's just subtle. Okay, it's like Vrindavan today is unmanifest. The real Vrindavan, but doesn't mean it doesn't exist. It still exists. Okay, let we read the chapter. I think some questions maybe clear. This is the summary.
Yeah.
Next paragraph.
Same thing for Dwarka also, Prabhu. It doesn't exist anymore.
Same thing. It's unmanifest.
Okay.
Okay. Next paragraph. Mahavishnu again.
I can.
Sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Mataji.
Mahavishnu again enters every universe as the reservoir of all living entities. Garbhodakshai Vishnu. From Garbhodakshai Vishnu expands Shirodakshai Vishnu, the super soul of every living entity. Garbhodakshai Vishnu also has his own Vaikuntha planet in every universe, where he lives as the super soul or supreme controller of the universe. Garbhodakshai Vishnu reclines in the midst of the watery portion of the universe and generates the first living creature of the universe, Brahma. The imaginary universal form is the partial manifestation of Garbhodakshai Vishnu.
Okay. So Mahasankarshan expanded as Mahavishnu. From Mahavishnu's every pore of Mahavishnu. Mataji, it's very difficult to read when you write something on the chat, you can ask the question. It's easier for me to answer that. Anyway, let me explain this paragraph first. So from every pore of his Mahavishnu's body come out these universes. There's trillions and trillions of universes that come out. Are they floating? Where are they floating?
In the Bhumandal, right?
In the causal ocean.
Causal ocean.
Okay.
They're floating in the causal ocean. Trillions and trillions of these universes. Then Mahavishnu enters each and every universe. Inside each and every universe. And from his sweat produces the ocean called Garbha Ocean. That's the bottom of the universe. And that's like Vaikuntha. A different kind of Vaikuntha in the material world. This Vaikuntha is in the material world, but still Vaikuntha. And from his navel comes out, what comes out of?
Lotus flower, lotus stem.
The stem and then the flower. And on the flower is sitting the first living entity,
Brahma.
Brahma. Okay, that's the birth of Brahma. Okay. So that's that. This paragraph. Next paragraph, somebody read, please.
I can read, Prabhu.
Please go ahead.
On the Vaikuntha planet, in every universe is an ocean of milk. And within that ocean is an island called Shwetadeepa, where Lord Vishnu lives. Therefore, this chapter describes two Shwetadeepas, one in the abode of Krishna and the other in the ocean of milk in every universe. The Shwetadeepa in the abode of Krishna is identical with Vrindavan Dham, which is the place where Krishna appears himself to display his loving pastimes. In the Shwetadeepa, within every universe, is a Shesh form of Godhead, who serves Vishnu by assuming the form of his umbrella, slippers, couch, pillows, garments, residence, sacred throne, and so on. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. So again, inside every universe also another universe called Shwetadeep. Shwetadeep is where the ocean of milk is there. And on that is lying on a bed of the snake, Sheshnath, Lord Vishnu. Which Vishnu is that? The specific name of this Vishnu?
Garbhodakshai Vishnu.
No.
No.
On the milk ocean, who's lying?
This is Shirodakshai Vishnu.
Shirodakshai Vishnu. So at the bottom of the universe is Garbhodakshai Vishnu. And somewhere in the universe is Shirodakshai Vishnu, which is own Vaikuntha planet. And what famous planet is next to it? Very famous planet.
Dhruv.
Yes, Dhruva. Correct. Correct. So that's there as well. That's why it's Atal. Anyway, so on that milk ocean, on the bed of Sheshnath, lying Shirodakshai Vishnu along with Lakshman. It's mentioning here Sheshnath is actually Lord Balaram, who serves Krishna in different ways. So slippers, pillow, bed, couch, umbrella, secretary, etc., etc. 10 different ways. That's what's happening here. So the spiritual world and the material world, there are two Vaikuntha lokas. One with the Garbhodakshai Vishnu at the bottom, and one with the Shirodakshai Vishnu in the universe. Okay. And the similar Shwetadeepa, where Lord Vishnu in the milk ocean residing is called Shwetadeep, and also the Vrindavan portion, Gokul portion of spiritual world Krishna Loka is also called Shwetadeep. These two being described here. Okay, this is the next paragraph.
I can read, Prabhuji.
Please go ahead.
Lord Baladeva in Krishna Loka is Nityananda Prabhu. Therefore, Nityananda Prabhu is the original Sankarshan and Mahasankarshan, and his expansions are the Purushas in the universes, are plenary expansions of Nityananda Prabhu.
So again, simple point is that is Lord Balaram. So all the expansions of Balaram are the expansions of Lord Nityananda. Okay, next paragraph, please.
I can read.
Please go ahead.
In this chapter, the author has described the history of his leaving home for a personal pilgrimage to Vrindavan and his achieving all success there. In this description, it is revealed that the author's original parental home and birthplace were in the district of Katwa, in the village of Jamtapur, which is near Nihati. Krishnadas Kaviraj's brother invited Sri Minaketana Ramdas, a great devotee of Lord Nityanand, to his home, but a priest named Kinar Nava Mishra did not receive him well. And Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami's brother, not recognizing glories of Lord Nityanand, also took sides with the priest. Therefore, Ramdas became sorry, broke his flute, and went away. This was a great disaster for the brother of Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. But on that very night, Lord Nityanand Prabhu himself praised Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami in a dream and ordered him to leave on the next day for Vrindavan.
Yeah. Thank you, Prabhu. So actually, it's talking about the birthplace of Krishnadas Kaviraj near Katwa. We were there only 3 months ago. Beautiful place. And so the whole story that's being referred to here will be discussed in great detail. How this devotee Ketanandas came and was in the mood of Lord Balram, but he felt insulted. There's an argument between Krishnadas Kaviraj and his brother about what's famously known as Ardhakukut Nyaya. And then Lord Chaitanya came to the dream of Krishnadas Kaviraj and ordered him to go to Vrindavan. So all this will be described in great detail in this particular chapter.
Prabhuji, can you please explain that? What is that Kukut Nyaya? Ardha Kukut Nyaya.
Yeah, so this
what
will be
is that,
discussed.
Prabhu?
Yeah, I'll explain this. I was saying that this will discuss in great detail in the chapter, but short answer to your question is, I'll tell you about the story. There was a farmer who had a hen that gave an egg every day and was taking it, selling it, and making money with all those kind of things. And one day it occurred to him that the back half of the hen is a source of revenue for him, but the front half of the hen is expense. So he says, if I cut out the front half, the head, then I have no expense. I'll only have revenue. So he cut his head off.
Oh my God.
And then obviously you can imagine what happened. So that's called ardha. Ardha means half hen. You cannot live with half a hen. You have to have the whole hen. But there's expense or revenue. That doesn't work. Similarly, Krishnadas Kaviraj's point was that you cannot love Lord Chaitanya and not love Nityananda. But Lord Chaitanya doesn't like that. It doesn't work that way. You love Chaitanya, you love Nityananda. They're not different. You cannot discriminate. And if you do, you're doomed. So that's
Thank you, Prabhu. So nice.
Yeah. So we'll read some details in this chapter. So I'm going to stop here because text one begins, so we'll start next week. There's some very, very long purports in this chapter. And again, if you think it's been complicated so far, it gets worse. Not worse, but more complicated until you finish chapter 7. And then it gets a little easier after that. Okay. Questions, comments, realizations, or whatever?
Prabhuji, I always thought, I know my brain is not that sharp, so I thought from Garbhodakshaya, Vishnu's navel, comes out the lotus flower and Brahma sits there. So you're saying it is Kshirodaksha Vishnu?
No, I did not say that. I said exactly what you said. So your understanding is correct. That's exactly what I said as well.
Okay, thank you.
Sure. Any other questions or comments? Okay, so we'll have an early break today. And we'll meet next week, Thursday. Thank you so much. Vansha kalpatarubhyascha kripasindhu
Patitanam Pavanam
Shri Prabhupada ki
Ki Jai.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare
Thank you,
Krishna.
Prabhuji. Hare
Thank you,
Krishna.
Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare
Thank you.
Krishna.
Hare
Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Bol Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Krishna. Thank you so much. Hare Bol.